here we go.
Cool. All right. So, let's see. What do we want to talk about? So you've got Madeline. She's not the worst reporter in the world. You guys, about a year ago, reworked her beat based on some of the things you were seeing in the metrics. What were you guys seeing? How did that process look in starting to rework her beat?
Well, the thing that we saw is there was a traditional way to do schools reporting, and that's a lot of event-based coverage, a lot of things that are going on. Maybe it's cute stuff, but we saw that a lot of those in a 52 school district weren't resonating with the greater community. We had already cut off a large part of our community because those people weren't involved with that school that we were perhaps covering. So what we did was really took more of a societal approach to education coverage, things that were going on within the entire school district, and more factors that were influencing everyone within the school district, such as growth within the city. We have an extremely, rapidly expanding city that plays out in a lot of ways in the schools.
What did the process look like? What did you have to give up as Madeline's editor for her to change her beat?
Well, the biggest thing that we gave up was a low-performing schools page. That was one section that we ran every week, and a lot of it became filling that page. There was an inordinate amount of work just to say, we need something in this spot. It's not necessarily going to pay off, but we need to spend her time doing that because we still have that page to put out. The first thing that I really advocated for was getting rid of that page. We know if we do a good job of education coverage, that's going to hit a wide array of our audience, and that should be front page news. So it didn't make sense to take all that information that should be good stuff and put that on the front page and then do something that wasn't resonating, our kind of B material on education, and doing that. We don't have enough time to do B material. It has to all be A material.
I like that. I'm going to use that. That will make the video. We don't have time for B material. We have time for B material. So I'm trying to think from there. What sort of changes did you see in Madeline's reporting as she kind of put some things aside, took on some other things? What changes did you see in her as a reporter, or were there certain things that she was freed up to really chase down that she was too busy for before?
Well, I mean, it allowed us to do that deep dive reporting that really we were giving short shrift to because we had this beast that we had to feed. And that never goes away. We always have that beast that we have to feed, but that allowed us to feed the beast in a more organic nature, a more meaningful nature. We went more in depth. We went more, when you talk about societal reporting, you're talking about issues and where the push and pull is. A lot of that goes into our competencies as watchdog investigative reporters. And not just the community, hey, this happened today. I mean, we know we can do that. We've done that for 140 years at the Colorado, and what we need to do is spend that time doing those things that our readers tell us again and again, hey, we want more of this. This means something to us.
Madeline won a Best of Gannett Award recently. What would you say is the reason Madeline won that?
Well,
Besides you, why did Madeline win that?
Well, I mean, I'd say that she has a well-trained voice in her head that tells us this is meaningful. This is what matters, and how we got there was by listening to our readers, and our metrics give us an ability to do that like we've never been able to before. Editors and reporters, we used to say, hey, I think this is going to hit, And now we're able to tell if that voice in our head that says this is going to be worthwhile, if that voice is right. And what that does is it trains us the next time that it comes around. We know to trust that voice, or we know to say, okay, maybe that was a little bit of a flop. And that's something that happens across not just one reporter, not just one editor, but across our company and hopefully our industry. That little gut check that we used to give to each other is now the gut check that we get through our community and through our readers.
Nice. What were the hard parts of doing this? Like, were there tough parts of making this happen? And yes is an okay answer, but what made the process difficult? What made it rewarding?
Well, change, and change in a way that people had been used to seeing us do education in a certain way. They're used to seeing us go out to events and write a 15-inch story and then say, good job. Well, those 15-inch stories became maybe 4-inch stories, or they became photo galleries. We're not going to abandon that idea that we're out there being reflective of our community. But what this did was we weren't taking so much time to do that, where it wasn't giving us these large gains that we see in doing actual investigative reporting. So, I mean, there was backlash, at first, but what we see is time and again in the metrics, in the conversations that we're having, is people find this type of coverage more meaningful. But yeah, any sort of change is initially going to be a little bit hard, and you strip your gears for a little bit. But if you keep in mind that the outcome is going to be so much better, and you're reminded that on a consistent basis, that allows you to power through those.
Cool. All right. Anything else you would want to say to Olive Gannett?
Yeah, we need. No.
All right, cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for us. Where do I hit the stop button here?
Just press the round button next to
This one up here? The one that says start stop?